If you're waiting for a title before you start leading, you're already delaying your own growth. Because in reality, leadership does not begin when you are promoted. It begins long before that. In fact, by the time someone receives a leadership title, they have usually been demonstrating leadership behaviors for weeks, sometimes months, sometimes even years. The title simply confirms what others have already seen. And this is especially true in remote work environments. Because in remote teams, leadership is not measured by presence. It is measured by behavior, how you think, how you communicate, and how you contribute to the success of the team. So if you want to grow in your career, especially in a remote setting, one of the most important skills you can develop is this: the ability to lead without the title. The misconception that holds people back. Most professionals operate with an invisible rule in their minds. They think, it's not my role yet. I'll wait until I'm promoted. I don't want to overstep. And on the surface, this sounds responsible. But in practice, it creates stagnation. Because growth in your career is not based on what you say you are ready for. It is based on what you consistently demonstrate. Leadership is not assigned first. It is observed first. Then it is rewarded. Why this matters even more in remote work. In a traditional office, leadership visibility can happen naturally. Managers can see who speaks up, who helps others, who takes initiative. But remote work removes that visibility. Now, your work is mostly seen through messages, meetings, updates, deliverables, which means something important changes. Your leadership potential is judged based on what is visible through communication and contribution. If you are quietly doing great work but not showing leadership behavior, you risk being seen as reliable, but not promotable. And there is a difference. What leadership actually looks like without a title. Let's simplify this. Leadership without a title is not about control. It's not about authority. And it's definitely not about acting like the manager. Leadership, at its core, is about three things: initiative, communication, influence. If you develop these three consistently, your career trajectory changes. 1. Initiative. Stop waiting, start moving. Most people wait. They wait for instructions. They wait for clarity. They wait for permission. But leaders don't operate like that. They look ahead. They identify gaps. And they move things forward. In a remote environment, initiative might look like asking clarifying questions before starting a task, suggesting improvements to a process, identifying risks early, offering to coordinate or organize when things feel unclear. You're not overstepping. You're adding structure. And structure is something every team values. Over time, this creates a reputation. This person doesn't just do work, they move work forward. 2. Communication, from updates to insight. This is where most professionals limit themselves without realizing it. They communicate like this: I've completed the task. I'll finish this by tomorrow. That's fine, but it's basic. Leaders communicate differently. They add context. They add insight. They add direction. For example, instead of saying, I finished the task, you say, I finished the task and I noticed something that might affect the next step. It might be worth adjusting our approach here. Now you're not just reporting, you're thinking, you're contributing to decisions. And in remote work, this stands out immediately, because strong communicators often become informal leaders first. 3. Influence, the real power behind leadership. Here's something most people misunderstand. Authority can make people listen, but influence makes people trust you. And in remote teams, trust matters more than authority. You build influence by helping others solve problems, sharing useful knowledge, supporting teammates when they're stuck, making collaboration easier. Over time, people begin to rely on you. They ask for your input. They trust your judgment, not because of your title, but because of your consistency. That's influence. And that's leadership. The line between leading and overstepping. Now let's address a real concern. A lot of people hesitate because they think, what if I come across as trying to act like the boss? That's a fair concern. But here's the difference. Overstepping is about control. Leadership is about contribution. Overstepping sounds like, do this. This is wrong. Leadership sounds like, what if we tried this? I noticed something that might help here. It's collaborative, it's respectful, and it adds value without creating friction. Visibility, the missing piece. Even if you're already doing all of this, there is one final piece. Visibility. Because in remote work, silent leadership often goes unnoticed. You don't need to brag, but you do need to make your thinking visible. That means speaking up in meetings, sharing insights and updates, contributing to discussions, documenting outcomes. Because here's the reality. If leadership cannot see it, they cannot reward it. What happens when you get this right? When you consistently demonstrate initiative, communication, and influence, something shifts. You stop being seen as just a contributor. You become a problem solver, a reliable voice, a stabilizing force, a go-to person. And when promotion conversations happen, you're not trying to prove yourself. You've already done it. Final thought. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't wait for the title to start leading, because by the time the title comes, leadership has already made their decision. They are not looking for potential. They're looking for proof. So start building that proof now, in how you think, in how you communicate, and in how you show up every day. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more insights on remote career growth, promotion strategy, professional development. And if you want a deeper breakdown of this topic, check the full article linked in the description.